All right, what episode is this?
This is this is
Holy
episode.
fuck, you're loud. I didn't see that bubble.
This is episode 8, man. We're working our way to the Big 10.
So I did catch
Ooh.
up.
Hey, we're recording a podcast here, dude.
Sorry, guys. My bad.
Yeah, we're doing this in front of a live audience. They don't know the ground rules yet.
Yeah,
We're new to this.
it's really fucking hard being a live studio audience.
That's the weak attempt at a laugh track.
Yeah, I
think.
know. No, you guys have to laugh. Just laugh a bit more than you normally do, just to make us look cool, if anything.
We got a great episode.
We do. Do we have a title for this one yet?
I haven't thought of anything
Yeah,
funny.
that's usually your thing. But so how was your week, first of all?
My week? You don't want to know about my week.
I want to know about
man.
your week. What do we want to hear about, audience?
Audience?
You guys fucking suck, man. Okay, so basically the thing is we're sitting in the tiki hut right now, where we previously recorded an episode, and we have a crowd watching us, which is kind of fucking weird. Not gonna lie, but yeah,
You know what? The reason I want you to start opening with your week because I know you did fuck all, and that's gonna make me feel real good about my week.
I don't know. Did I do anything? I didn't really do anything cool this week, man. I watched a couple movies and I played a couple video games, and that was about it. And it was pretty fucking lackluster, I would say.
Yeah, I'm still on the job hunt, man.
Yeah.
I don't know unless you think we can find more creative ways. I think that Twitch idea is a good idea. Maybe I don't need a job if we can make money.
We're definitely gonna do the Twitch idea. That's such a, I don't know. To me, like it's. I'm not saying it's an untapped market because it's actually, I'd say if anything, it's saturated, but. I don't know. I think it's just a neat idea to like do a podcast
through Twitch
while like playing vids and shit.
Oh, okay. So
we can like play Rocket League and talk about fucking Omar Cotter at the same time.
Nobody wants to hear.
But how do you know?
Okay. All right. Who's Omar Cotter? A guy who's supposed to be listening to our podcast.
Yeah, I know. Who's fucking
asks.
Omar Cotter? Yeah.
Anyways, yeah. So no, but that's fine. But no, what I did do actually that was pretty cool. I went to Kensington Market in Toronto.
Yeah.
And hung out with a buddy, and it was pretty garbage. I was like, no, like I had a bunch of luggage with me. So picture, I was staying at a buddy's house. I was taking some classes out of Ryerson, and I had a bunch of stuff with me because I was sleeping at my friend's house. So picture me, I had like a suit on because I was in classes that entire day. So then the Friday night comes around and my buddy's gone. I can't go back to his place. So I go to Kensington Market. And if you know anything about the area, it's a really bohemian place.
Yeah.
It's kind of intimidating at first. But my friend, he's like, man, just trust me. This is Toronto in a nutshell. It's a really young crowd. And, I have like my briefcase and I have like my luggage with me that I was staying with for the whole week.
Yeah.
I got all my extra shirts in there, and we started like bar hopping, and we're going into like bars that like just don't even have names. And at one point we found ourselves at a virtual reality spot.
Really? Like an actual virtual, like a bar virtual reality?
They weren't serving alcohol.
Okay.
There was a bar right beside that we went to after.
Yeah.
But it was $15
Yeah.
for a half hour, I think was what it was.
Damn.
I don't remember. I haven't checked my credit card statement yet.
Yeah.
But we go in, and a super friendly person, and I say person because I'm pretty sure she wasn't or he wasn't going to disclose her gender at birth at any time soon. Because and
really that like ambiguous?
really, I mean, I want to say it was a man. I don't want to offend her though. But blue, like super blue hair and like really cool,
one of
piercings,
those.
and well, I don't know what those. This is the most unique thing I've ever seen.
One of those folks.
But so I'm just gonna say she. You know what? I'm just gonna say she
we'll
because
say
I said she at some point and it smiled. So I'm pretty sure that's what we're gonna go with. And so she's setting me up with like my headset, and before she puts it on, she goes, transsexuals invented VR. Like kind of whispers into my ear. Like all sultry, and then plops the headset down.
Oh, God, that's a Black Mirror episode right there.
And I had to think about the logistics of a purely transsexual, like, go to the boardroom, and it's just Anyways, and I'm plunged into this zombie world, and the part that impressed me most about the VR, I didn't get to do much. I mean, I wasn't there that long, but the zombie game in particular is the shooting mechanics. I really loved the physics. They gave you 2 controllers.
Yeah.
And then you could scroll through, like in each controller, you had the ability to switch guns, but it was the aiming that I really enjoyed. The spatial awareness of the guns, and as you're shooting angles around things and you're kind of moving your head.
Right.
Man, dude, headshots when you actually feel like you're aiming physically a gun at another thing.
Yeah.
It's so rewarding. Like, I liked it in James Bond. Just imagine what it's like.
Imagine what it's like in real life. Yeah, I know.
But yeah, that was really cool. My friend wasn't feeling the zombies as much. He went and did some paddleball. We played some dodgeball, VR, of course.
Oh, that's a neat idea.
It wasn't really dodgeball though. It was kind of like teleport dodgeball. You could teleport to they hadn't figured out like the moving quite yet, so you just looked around in 360 space, and if you wanted to move spatially on the game, you had to launch a little teleport pad, and then it kind of instantaneously
put you
into that area, and then you could throw the ball from that area. I thought it was a little bit lame. I was more about the shooter. The first person shooter VR. Oh man, dude.
So do you think there's potential for virtual reality? Like, do you think there's a market for it?
I think if transsexuals keep working as hard as they have, they're gonna make significant strides in this.
They want to be accepted by mainstream culture.
They better
make some sick vids.
Make really
some sick
though,
vids, man.
Yeah. So
and we'll stop making fun of you behind your back. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, but that was interesting.
That's sick. No, that's I don't know. I did the Game of Thrones VR, also made by a transsexual. His name was so I'm trying to think of a Game of Thrones transsexual joke right now.
Come on, you got something in the bang.
Something with Jon Snow. I don't know.
Jon Snow Dick.
What? Jon Snow Dick?
I think maybe. I think that's the joke I was going for.
Oh man. Yeah, so John's no dick hooked me up with the VR headset, and it was like a recreation of The Wall. Like
all right.
Like The Wall in the north, whatever. So you went up like the elevator to the top, and you can like look around, and all these wildlings are shooting bows and arrows at you, and then you get killed by one.
Oh no!
And then you fall off the wall, and you have that feeling of like
plunging feeling.
Yeah, that plunging
like
feeling.
That.
It was, I don't know, man.
That, man.
I don't know if you can ever. Maybe I'm old school, but
in what? In terms of video games?
Video games, like just that feeling of just sitting back and fucking being a piece of shit, and fucking not having to do any like work at all. It's just your thumbs doing work. Like, I love it, man. I don't know if like virtual reality, like when it gets to that point, it's too much work.
It's intense.
Defeats the point of a video game.
Well, we were talking about our favorite video games earlier, and they were the most arcadey ones. The ones that
stupid, like so surreal, arcadey, like such a transport out of reality, which I guess VR is. But when you have to start mimicking real life,
it was so weird when you walk in there and you see all these people and you can't see what's on their screen. You just see them walking around and like looking all terrified. Yeah. It is something out of some crazy Matrix shit. It's actually kind of terrifying when you see that.
Yeah. I don't know. I kind of want to try one of the VR, like the fucking VRs. That'd be hilarious.
Oh, man. The fuck VRs.
They're
the
crazy,
sex VRs.
Dude.
Man, my buddy says his buddy is working on that. Like getting into the market. Yeah.
I think it's already, like in Japan, it's out there already. It's definitely out there already in the more progressive areas of the world.
Is that progressive, man?
That's very progressive.
Do you think it's cheating at some point? Like, hey, if you're in a relationship and VR gets so intense.
Banging a robot?
Body pillows? No, man. I don't know if body pillows are it. I think VR is really, maybe VR in conjunction with the pillow. Like if you're,
you have like
man, I gotta think at some point, if you're like, no, I want to be very faithful, and you're out there like cyber fucking,
and your wife finds out you've been banging fucking
man,
some alien from Epsilon 9 like in your VR,
like it's embarrassing when she finds like the stash, but if she found like you were spending that kind of energy and time with
the fucking slimy green alien
cyber characters,
well, you know what, Epsilon 9, the Borg from Epsilon 9 just gets me, you know. She understands my needs as a human being.
I'd like to go back into like Harry Potter and like if you could be VR Harry Potter, you know that scene when he kisses Cho Chang?
You want to bang Cho Chang?
Not just because it rhymes. Like I really thought what
Cho
they
Chang
had was
sexy,
genuine.
man.
Yeah, I know.
In the movie, she was great.
Cho
You should.
Chang.
I would have taken her over fucking Weasley.
Are you talking about her? Well, who did? Oh,
No, because Ron
Ginny,
Weasley's
yeah.
Ginny Weasley.
Yeah.
That's who he ends
yeah,
up banging.
Yeah, no, I know.
But
I know.
I had more of the Asian.
Man, I was
Asian
so
fetish.
disappointed in Hermione. Remember when she like fixed up her teeth, like just to try to impress that one Quidditch player, Victor? Vic Crom or whatever. Yeah. Man, I was like, Hermione, do you really like you know who you are deep down inside? But I guess the thing is like I got braces.
Yeah, and your teeth look great.
And I landed a hottie, so so really what am I really mad at with Hermione? I just wanted her to be a nerd forever, I guess. And then when she got all
Ironically,
hot, I
she's
was like, I can't land.
Well,
you
it's funny
anymore
because like
in my mind.
Emma Watson is kind of like the hot nerd. Like the nerds love her.
They
right?
should have
She's-
busted her teeth up before, like in the first, like when she was a 12
would've
year
been
old.
sick.
Like, we're gonna give you braces that make your teeth worse.
Yeah, we're gonna
And
fuck
then,
you up.
and then when Vic comes back, y'all get all hot.
Yeah, I get hot.
You know?
Man,
Right?
I'm actually not a big fan of the Harry Potter genre. Like the older I get, the just the amount of people our age and like their mid-20s and shit that are still enthralled by fucking Harry Potter, like that world. And it's like you gotta, I don't know, man. You gotta grow up at some point.
Well, you gotta have some escape. Like what's
Yeah, but there's way cooler escapes than that. Like
well, Star Wars, if that's
Star
your
Wars
thing.
is way doper
Okay.
than Harry Potter.
All right, we're getting some nods from the live
The
audience.
likes that. No, Star Wars is that's what I'm saying. Harry Potter's lame as shit. Like, you know what I mean? If like you fucking go to
Yo.
England and line up at the platform 9.5 or whatever, take your picture. It's I don't know. It's like people that sit on the Game of Thrones throne and for Facebook photos. It's kind of lame. I want a fucking VR simulator of fucking
VR getting day drunk with your boy.
getting day drunk every day.
Classic.
So Labor Day is coming up. Speaking of,
Well, this is the Labor Day
VR.
weekend. What's the point of Labor Day?
Labor Day.
You would know this.
I think Labor Day is a time to commemorate, that worker collectivism. Workplace solidarity is really what Labor Day is all about. And I think the fact that they have it, once a year, a day where you don't get to go to work reminds us, and this is a throwback to our first episode, you got to have your leisure. You got to know that as much as your employer is in a relationship that pays you, your family, your friends have to come first. And workplaces don't necessarily need to be that extractive of a process if you have trust and solidarity with the people you're around. So
Well, I mean, you spend, the majority of your life there.
you do. You spend a lot of time.
So it's nice. It's nice to have that one day to step back and remember that being day drunk with the boys is a lot more fun than whatever shit job you have working 9 to 5.
Yeah, some people just work to then come home to like a place that they can't spend time in. Oh, thank you, Johnny. I was drinking what?
Piss.
Oh man, that was a really bad beer.
Profits and Nomads, the salty beer.
It's a salty beer. I'm not gonna say some people might have a taste for it, but
Not this guy.
no, I stay away from the sours.
Yeah, no, I'm not a
yeah.
big fan of sour.
But yeah,
beers
but going back to Labor Day, I don't know, man. It's just a time where I think, actually I wrote a rap. I'm hoping maybe I can drop it.
well, we should end the episode. With
We'll end the
rap,
episode with it.
with the rap.
Yeah,
song.
no, man, we'll hit it. We'll hit it at the end. It is like a Labor Day themed rap, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you gotta spend time with your family, and if you forget about that, then I think you can find yourself in a really tough place later on if you isolate yourself.
Yeah, I don't know. I do like having a long weekend at this time of year because this is kind of when the weather changes over and whatnot, and I don't know.
You want to talk about the weather on our podcast? is
Yeah, yeah. What's your favorite season?
that- Really, I'm a man for all seasons.
You're a man for all seasons. Is that Thomas More?
That's a little bit of Thomas More.
Yeah,
Apparently
Thomas More is you know what, man? That's one of those books I think I should read at this age again.
It's a great
he
book, man.
like I wouldn't think I would ever die for that cause.
What, you don't think you would have ever...
Like what he died for, I don't know if I could. I don't know.
Just
I don't
being
know.
a man of the law, man. I really like that. I really like that concept. Do the fans want to share something? The fans are...
We're losing him, I know. We're losing him.
Hey, guys, you gotta... You know why? Because we haven't dropped any, like, funny one-liners yet.
Well, I don't know. This is a lot of pressure. Fucking 3 guys just sitting here watching me and talk.
I'm used to, like, 9, 10, so...
Yeah.
This is just...
Yeah, that's what he's used to.
Where are your ski masks, boys? I gotta get in the zone here, gentlemen. No, but really, like... Okay, I'm thrown off.
What else is going on in Canada right now, man?
Canada? Oh man, the Sir John A Macdonald thing, dude.
Yeah, I do want to talk about that because I don't know. That's definitely one of those. I think I'm in the minority on this one, but I do sympathize with the idea of removing his name from.
How attached are you really to Sir John?
I'm not attached at all, but again, I can understand why an Indigenous community would feel.
Absolutely.
I don't know. I mean, again, I wish we knew some Indigenous people so we could get them on the podcast. But like, I gotta think that's probably threatening to grow to spend your life kind of being.
Patty G, you're coming on the podcast. You don't know it yet, my boy Pat.
You have an Indigenous.
I
friend?
have several.
But is he an Indigenous? In the sense of, is he Indigenous experience? Like,
he is. He spends time powwows. He always picks me up some sick lacrosse gear when he goes. I'm always repping.
So the cool parts of Native culture.
Yeah, man, all the good parts, man. Yeah, no, he's been a good friend.
But
I don't know if he has an opinion on this. I
don't know. I guess maybe I think that's something I'd rather want to speak to someone that like lives on a reserve, like the true Native experience. Not saying his experience isn't true.
Yeah, but I just feel like you're not going to. If you find somebody who's passionate about this topic, they're speaking from a historical lens. They're not speaking.
That's what I want to hear.
Goddamn Sir John A Macdonald. You hear what he did? Like they're speaking from it in historical terms.
But I just want to know if they feel.
But that takes a critical lens, man.
But do they feel threatened? Like, do they feel that scope of like the constant reminder?
Only if they've talked to
right.
other people about it. That's not something you're going to find out.
Yeah, you can't just look at a name and be like, oh, I feel threatened by this.
You're never going to just see, even if they told you, oh, he's the person, you know, who was one of the first prime ministers, and you're not going to know his role behind the residential schools. You're not going to know that he signed off.
You know what? I don't think it's the residential schools. I think more so what it is the building of the Canadian Pacific Railway. Because a lot of like Indigenous tribes were killed off or disbanded.
So within that process, the nationalization project.
In order to build, in order to sort of imagine this transnational railway, you know. I mean, I think it's very similar to like the Trail of Tears in a sense in the States, like the sort of like policies put in place to purposely disband like and disrupt like native generations in order to build the infrastructure for like the white European settlers, right?
Yeah, you have to displace. That's what they were thinking, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of thought, to be honest, that it was. I don't think anything will be done about it, but and the thing is that like the teachers union can't ultimately. That's not their call.
They're just rallying.
But it's still. I thought it was a very nice initiative, and I thought that actually gave me a bit of hope because I'm not. I don't know if I've really brought up on this podcast, but I think you guys know I'm not a big fan of teachers.
I didn't know that.
No, I mean, I don't know. I've just...
well, you had some bad childhood experiences.
Yeah, man. No, not even...
What else do you want to share on the podcast?
No. But seriously, like I don't know, man. Just like, I guess... I don't want to get too much into it, but...
No. Are you talking about the union aspect of it?
No. But in the line...
This is our Labor Day theme
I'm not talking about the union
podcast.
aspect of it. I'm talking about, like, in my line of work, like, we deal a lot with teachers and other jobs I've worked. And, like, so I just can't fucking stand teachers. Like, to me, teachers are, like, they fucking drive me nuts because they are, to me, like, the fucking mentally ill, like, nerds that, like... They need that like authority power structure, and so they commit to a life of like fucking yelling at kids, and masking it as this like this societal service.
Are TAs okay?
TAs are fine. TAs are cool, man.
Those are those nerds
TAs
that like to get yelled at
Yeah.
by
they're the dispensable middle management. They're cool. That's Labor Day. That's real Labor Day shit right there.
So no, but so
they-
tell me about
just
this.
like, because most teachers I fucking deal with, I talk to like in my line of work, like they're just the most. They think like the fucking like authoritative like tone that they punish their fucking students with is something you can like say to adults.
Have you thought that maybe they had noble ambitions when they started and then
probably, but
have
they're-
become jaded through the sheer lack of respect?
No, but it has nothing to do with being jaded or sort of losing interest. I think they're just like fucking people that they're mentally ill people that need like a power struggle of some sort, or have to be on the right side of the power struggle.
Yeah,
So they
well,
get into fucking yelling at kids for a living.
I don't know. Some people
No,
just
I mean, I'm
find jobs.
I'm generalizing,
and then
not all of them, obviously.
Are you
There's-
generalizing? You've called
Well, I am-
every.
Yeah. You know what? Fuck it. I am generalizing, man. Fuck
Yeah.
teachers. Official Timber
Join in the
Republic
fuckboy
podcast.
list.
Fuck them. Fuck them.
Well, yeah. So, but you're proud of them. For
I'm proud of them
raising-
for this one because I thought
Yeah.
that is like ultimately that should be the role of the teacher in society is to
to raise
critically
I don't know, man.
critically look at what they're teaching children and question it. And in this case,
Man,
this is what they're questioning. They're
dude.
questioning the Canadian curriculum.
I hear you on that one. I just feel like
good
so
for
much
them.
of the curriculum that's been written for them has specifically excluded so many important issues. Not only the
Exactly.
not only
This
the
is
effect
one-
of the nationalization
No.
project.
This is just one, but it's good that they're raising a voice against something
So
like
let's
this.
take it back. If Sir John A Macdonald's name was removed, what was it from a couple schools? Are there schools that's
yeah,
the
like they
issue?
didn't
They're
want
named-
schools and the whatever.
What about taking him off the money? People were talking about that too. You're like,
Yeah.
where does it? If you want to take off somebody who's been named historically, I think this is the problem when you use somebody's name to start, like when you use a physical person's name to memorialize buildings, or just even now you put his face on money. If that guy had some shit in the past that was dark, I mean, somebody will talk about it. You know, everybody's got warts. Okay,
Right.
well,
No one's- yeah, no one's
yeah, but
perfect,
does that
right.
excuse it? The thing is Canada needs to be a developing project, and I think at the end of the day, definitely going forward, you're gonna have to look for more ways to include people. And if somebody feels excluded and they have a legitimate reason to feel marginalized by somebody's policies, I don't know, why wouldn't you listen to them? Why wouldn't you give that person a platform to express their opinions on that subject? And if it means removing names because they'd feel more inclusive, you have to ask yourself why that bothers you. And if it bothers you because, oh, well, I love Canada, that's not a good enough reason. If you love Canada, you should know that it's capable of change and growth. And renaming things, why should that bother you?
So you wait.
Right, Confederates
Yeah,
in the
and
South.
that's the thing.
Good
Like
call,
everything that
too,
happens in Canada is
viewer.
just a ripple effect of what's happening in the States. Like it's.
Okay, all
But
right. I
I-
hadn't seen it that way, but that's
But
fair.
I mean, that's I don't know. To me, I don't. I think it's a nice initiative. I don't know.
well, didn't Kathleen Wynne say sorry it's staying, like shit like that?
Yeah, like nothing will be changed, but I still think it's a good thing to critically think about who these people are that we, like, why, like the people that are named for these institutions. A lot of them.
Well, one of the options is to put a little plaque beneath the school, say Sir John A. Macdonald was responsible for the
For
genocide
the
of
fact that your family is crippling. Suffering from crippling alcoholism.
You face significant gaps in
Because of this
health and
man.
education as a result.
But
of the
that's the
policies of
thing.
this
That, like
man.
as a young Native Canadian, how much faith could you have in your community, your government, knowing that they
Wow,
perpetrate
Now-
these names and these people?
Dude, very good parallel to Charlottesville.
Yeah. Oh, of course.
Very
That's
good.
what I'm saying. It's a very
Very
like
good
I mean
parallel.
it's the same question of what's going on in the
Tearing down
States.
statues, right?
Yeah,
Isn't that the same question?
And I agree with tearing down the Confederate statues because all those statues are a constant reminder to Black, African Americans about how you're not wanted in our country. This is
Yeah.
what our ancestors fought for, was your right,
Your
not
exclusion.
your exclusion. Yeah.
Yeah.
And is it like, to me, it's the same situation with John A. Macdonald,
I
right?
feel like people wouldn't want to accept that fact about Sir John A. Macdonald. They'd see
But they
him
did.
as a unifying
I
character.
mean, he was ultimately just an alcoholic dude that fucking got to form a country
from the
and got his
British.
face and got his face on
payoff,
the money.
yeah.
So he lived a badass life. We're not going to take that away from him. But he definitely, The other thing I saw too is like sort of the counter argument was like, well, if we're gonna remove his name from this,
Where
we
do
gotta
we
remove
stop? Yeah,
we gotta
okay.
remove this guy too because he had a slave, and this guy too because he
Oh,
stayed in
yo,
natives.
good
But
call.
to me, I say, well, yeah, maybe we should. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
maybe,
that's
you
kind
know,
of the point I'm making. If it offends you, you got to ask why. And it's because you're afraid of change. Well, then maybe you're
Maybe
not
we
committed
should have.
enough.
Maybe there should be widespread change in like the people that we value as the faces of our national identity. It should be the Harriet Tubmans of the world. I don't even know if she's really considered Canadian, but you know what I mean. Like those are to me
People
those are the
who-
people that are.
Unifying people who were at their weakest.
Yeah, just because like these like the John A Macdonalds happen to be around the unification of the country doesn't mean we should. They're
celebrate
in the
them
right place at the right time, but does that mean we have to celebrate them
forever, indefinitely.
in our national history?
Yeah.
I mean, not saying we should completely erase them from the history, but I think we should also be, when you put someone's name on a statue or on a school or on a public building,
You got to be aware of that.
that's an idolization of some sort, right?
Right.
So I think we can be more careful. We can ask
one of my
questions.
favorite name changes when I was going to the University of Guelph, and it was one of the buildings was Axelrod, and I came back the next year and it was Alex Rod, and I'm like, what happened?
Yeah.
And I guess Axelrod got up to some shady shit.
Good.
And,
Fuck 'em.
and they just switched the L names. Like,
Yeah.
fucking Alex Rod.
Alex Rod,
Yeah.
yeah.
There you go. But yeah, no, it's an issue. Like if you do pick a person's name, now that being said, I don't know. Some people who donate money make significant contributions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you
I
took
know,
if you took the Irving's name off buildings, you wouldn't have any named building left
Yeah,
in New
because
Brunswick.
I understand that. Yeah, I understand that.
So-
That's a bit of a different story, though.
Well, it's really there's a lot of
Well,
stuff.
John A.
that's-
Macdonald didn't donate for his name to be on this school. Like that
Well,
was a decision
I don't know.
chosen by the community for whichever reason.
Yeah,
But
so-
maybe the reserve that lives beside that community
should
doesn't
have
feel
more of a
doesn't
say,
feel
yeah.
the same way about having the school name, the Sir John
I
A.
agree.
Macdonald High School.
I agree. And why would you want to continue to, relive the
Well, in
marginalization.
Windsor they shout out Tecumseh a lot.
Tecumseh, yeah,
Tecumseh gets
yeah.
a big time shout out in like Western Ontario. So
yeah.
it's not like we're doing everything bad because
Yeah,
he was
but
a badass dude.
he was a badass dude. I was thinking about even Louis Riel.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, badass dude. But
Hey,
like,
Louis Riel has his own holiday. That's Louis Riel Day
In
in
Manitoba.
is in Ontario. That is our Victoria Day weekend. No, that can't be
Hmm.
right. One of the civic holidays is Louis Riel Day
Okay.
in
All right.
Manitoba.
we're gonna get the fans in the audience.
Yeah,
This is
yeah. you guys get that one.
fan participation.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm not saying we're all wrong, and I think relative to the states, we're a lot. We're a lot.
Your phone's gonna die, man. I love how it's like your phone's gonna die. It's gonna reach a death. It's not like, oh, it's running out of power. We personify our phones so much. Monday, February 19th.
Family Day.
Oh, it's
yeah.
Family Day.
They have
Yeah.
Louis Riel Day. I thought
So
that was
Louis
a neat-
Riel fought for the maintenance of the Métis families,
He's
and
a
Ontario
hero.
just glosses it over and like, yeah, we already have
Yeah,
families.
he's
We already have.
he's a Sir Thomas. He's a kind of a Sir Thomas More kind of character,
We don't-
right?
Sir
Like,
Thomas More.
He's kind of that same
Yeah.
tragic hero.
He's a tragic hero
You
for
know,
sure. man.
died for the cause of the Métis on the Red
Métis,
River.
Métis are.
I think Métis has to be. I mean, not
I was
saying
going to
there's-
say that issue is a different breed.
Well,
but
I was
that
gonna say,
would have been
like the
in poor
Métis
taste.
existence must be very difficult because you're not accepted by either side, right? Like you're not.
That's
you're-
the problem,
You're
yeah.
not. You're not European, or you're not a white European, nor were you. Well, still are. Nor are you Aboriginal.
They are though. This is the thing. If you
But they
look,
found their own. They found their own space, which is.
but I'll disagree
super
with the
interesting.
point that they're not Aboriginal. I'll disagree because if you look to
I
significant
don't know.
community populations, the Denny, I think I might be saying that possibly correct. But if you look at when European interculturation actually, I might have made up a word there.
Yeah, but it sounded really.
It sounded
good, so go
sick.
with it.
If you look at it's like 1600s that you started seeing Métis population spring up. So that predates the first assertion of sovereignty of the crown in Canada. So that is the definition of an indigenous person, even though that they may be like a Creole of the two cultures.
No, they're not Creole.
No, I'm saying in the term of the anthropological sense, bro. like a creolization. They're making
Creole. That's not really a creolization.
well, whatever. I'm trying to sound smart on the podcast.
No,
man.
I know you are, and you are smart. So don't try to act. Don't try to sound smart. We know you are smart.
Okay, so then I'll tell you this much. Then yeah, they fucked in like 1600 and they had some
They
kids.
fuck. Yeah, the white guys fuck.
White
the natives.
guys. Yeah, man. When
we
you say it
got
like
the
that,
Métis.
man, and like Pocahontas isn't a real thing, but
Yeah,
like
she is. Pocahontas is definitely a real thing.
no, but she was 12. She wasn't like this
Oh, yeah.
full-bodied
No,
woman
her-
that you see in the
her
Disney.
story was a lot sadder in real life than the
Yeah,
Disney. Like
man.
I think she went to like England and was put in a zoo.
That actually might.
I'm not even joking.
She would have.
Dude,
They made
up
her sing
until,
that
like-
"Colors of the Wind" song over and over.
Yeah,
The UK,
dude.
they love it.
They love it.
They love that
Dude,
shit.
the like human zoos existed up until the beginning of like the 20th century. Like exhibitions happened and there'd be like, here's a Sri Lankan man in his natural habitat. And then,
Fuck off with that. That's hilarious. I'm not laughing.
well,
but
I mean,
that's-
even the concept. I mean, the concept of like genetic superiority really it's still prevalent today in some circles, but like it was so
so
prevalent.
it's just because they hadn't seen any
like
of those
it was
people.
well, I mean,
yeah.
it was mostly spurred
Okay.
on by the British Empire. Like when they were going around colonizing various parts of the world, they were taking back quote unquote specimens from. You know,
like White Walkers from
like
beyond the wall,
White,
just
like
bringing
White
back.
Walkers. They were bringing White Walkers back. They were
Okay.
bringing the Pocahontas of the world back, and they would have zoos like exhibitions where people could go and like
Nice.
take selfies with a dude from fucking Papua New Guinea.
Dude, that's fucked up.
That's
man.
crazy, man. Like just no disregard for fucking or no regards.
Okay, if I had a serious body, like if I had a serious problem,
yeah, you had like one
genetic
big, one big
mutation,
testicle.
one giant nut, yeah, for sure I'd be a traveling. Like, why not? That sounds pretty dope. Get people to go and look at my nut and be like, "Yo, look at these nuts."
These nuts.
I'd spread my nuts to the world. But then again, if I'm doing it against my will, if they're like, "Hey, there's that one
Yeah,
nutted
yeah.
kid, get him,"
Yeah.
I
You want to
wouldn't
be a free-willed nutter.
I want to be a free will nut spreader. But yeah, like I'd want to do something meaningful, like because there's probably a lot that you can't do in those days and age. They're not going to be able to set you up with like a construction job. Like that nut would get in the way of everything
That's
you're
true.
doing.
Yeah, you would be a liability in the workplace.
You would absolutely be a liability. But if they said, "Hey, you can form a relationship with the bearded lady," like they offer you love, they offer you cash, and they offer you liquor, sure.
Jesus Christ.
I'm gonna be that guy,
Yeah.
spreading his legs for the world to see.
Jeez.
Show him my nut. Where is this going? Off the rails, says the audience.
Welcome to the podcast, folks.
Off
This is-
the rails. Off
this is
the
what
rails.
we do on a fucking weekly
Speaking of
basis.
rails, Sir John A. Macdonald was responsible for
Oh, I thought you were gonna just like go off about a coke tangent. Did they have coke back then?
Coke.
Cocaine?
Oh, you think
Like
Sir
doing
John?
rails? He was doing.
Is he doing rails while building rails?
If they had rails back then, he definitely would have partaken. I don't know the guy, but I'm gonna say that he definitely would have been fucking doing rails. If it
I just feel like
existed.
anybody who had that opportunity back in the day.
Yeah, 'cause you wouldn't even
because
know
it
what it
wasn't
was.
thought of as a moral like that's
yeah,
the
you
thing
wouldn't
is
even
it
know what
wasn't.
it was.
The thing is we've criminalized it and as a result
Well,
made it
because
a
we
moral
realized,
issue.
we also realized how dangerous it
They
is.
didn't
right?
think it was. They thought it was like
No,
great. It was a
yeah.
pharmaceutical. They sold it over the counter.
Sure,
so
sure.
you're gonna judge people. Think about that, listener. You're gonna judge Sir John A. Macdonald for doing rails while
There's
building
actually
rails?
some crazy like academic journal articles about how like much of an alcoholic he was. Like
Oh, you weren't lying about
like
that.
first person
Oh,
like
I thought you were
testimonies
just
about how
making that
he like was just caught. Like people would
Just
in
see
the
him
morning
pants off,
in Bytown
pissing himself.
No, seriously, people waking up in the morning in like Bytown, which is now Ottawa, and like just finding the dude pants off and pooping himself.
That's
Funky
my
shit.
man.
Yeah.
How could we take his name off
How can we- yeah.
elementary school? He was such a fucking prominent figure. So what was his piece like? Was he rocking? Or was he...
I don't fucking know. They didn't talk about that in the article, but
They didn't? Man, I'm so disappointed in journalists lately.
yeah, there's no journalistic integrity anymore. They're not asking the big questions anymore, folks. Or little questions. And
We'll never know.
We'll never know. That's lost to history, folks.
Oh man, there are some world leaders known for their peace, though.
Really?
Yeah, man. Who's the dude who responsible for like the separation of like
Coney.
Coney?
Coney.
Are they like Coney, like the Ugandan dude?
Yeah.
Coney separated the church.
Separated church and state.
Man, he made it happen. Man, I can't believe that Coney 2012. That was a long
Coney
time
2012
ago.
was the worst fucking week of my life. I lost so much goddamn faith in humanity about that one.
Yo, I loved Coney 2012,
liked
man.
it?
I thought it
Yeah.
was sick. Because Coney was a piece of shit. He was abducting.
He's still alive, I'm pretty sure. Like they didn't get rid of him.
Oh,
Coney's still kicking in
man.
Africa. He's fucking
Oh,
getting child
man.
soldiers
So,
and he was
no,
militias
I
and
wasn't gonna
shit.
say Coney was known for his piece. I was gonna talk about. Oh, that
knows?
came out of my butt. What is that? Look at that.
Jesus Christ.
I was just trying to fix my pants. What
Who's
is that?
known for their peace?
I can't remember his name. The guy who killed his wife with the axe because she couldn't produce a male heir, and then come on, we got some smart people, and
Is
he's
this
like,
historic?
oh, I can't divorce, well, I'm gonna create Protestantism.
That's Sir Thomas More shit.
Yeah, that is. Who's the guy?
King
William
Henry.
Henry.
I don't know.
Henry.
I have
Which
no
ones of the Henrys?
Exile one
Yeah,
and
which one of the Henrys
Chastity,
though?
next one.
No,
Henry the
he,
Eighth.
He wouldn't divorce his wife.
He wouldn't divorce. Well, he couldn't because of religion, and then so he created Protestantism.
Yeah, he literally just created a church so he could bang.
I
some
sound like
other
such a
woman.
dumbass though when I start talking about history. I need somebody who's good at history. to come
I'm
on
good
the
at
podcast.
history, just not.
So he was known for his banger.
Really? He had a big dick.
Are you telling me? Read a book, bro.
His name's Thomas More, right?
No, the Thomas More was the one of the advisors.
Yeah. Oh, that's why it's more More, but I searched Mo. There's another.
Moore.
Okay, it was Henry the
Eighth.
Boom.
I knew it was Henry VIII.
Henry VIII.
And did search Henry VIII
Dick.
dick size.
Okay.
Dick pics. He used to rock a cod piece, like he would embellish his.
We've all been there.
It would be he'd wear like a silver jock almost to
Yeah.
to emphasize his masculinity.
Well,
Oh,
I feel like that's
man.
probably a pretty common thing.
The tiki hut is under a swarm of mosquitoes.
Solitary mosquito.
Are you still looking up?
There's a couple
You guys
articles
gonna
about
flash
it.
the podcast right now?
There's a couple articles about
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Well, the first thing that comes up is a YouTube video called King Henry VIII and Dick Cheney.
Dick Cheney.
So,
All right.
I don't know what the parallels are with that one, but
Man, you thought I was making shit up.
oh no, there was like one article, but it was some like clickbait bullshit, so I don't think it was
Yeah.
real. You made that up, I think.
No.
Is it actually true? Okay,
it's
I
a
believe
real
it, I believe
thing, man. I was watching some late night programming
Yeah.
on history. I thought I might see a booby or two, but no, just King Henry VIII.
No, they weren't big in the titties back then, man.
Not really, man.
Yeah.
History Channel today.
Oh, History Channel today is brutal. You know what I hated about the whole John A. Macdonald thing, just going back to that, is sort of the conservative response to that was like, sort of like scoffing, like, oh.
Yeah, the scoffing is what I hate.
That's it's like it's
most,
always like the
man.
scoffing, like, oh, how, why is, hey, there she.
We got two more entrants. Oh, we got a
Hey.
baby.
got
There's a baby. At
We
the
got a
tiki
baby
hut.
in the podcast.
Oh yeah! Shout out to the baby.
Oh shit!
Help yourself to bevies, gentlemen. So we were just to fill the new viewers in. We are talking about what are we talking about?
So we were just laughing at the Sir John A. Macdonald thing.
Yeah, and when people scoff at it,
Yeah. But I was saying like the conservative response was hilarious. What's up, dude? Because like yeah, the whole like that's like the conservative answer to everything is just scoffing and being like, oh, why are we wasting our time talking about this? Like, that's what the conservative answer in Canada like. They're just so fucking boring.
well, they're not all concerned. So there's also some Aboriginal people, some Indigenous people. Aboriginal is
Yeah.
the term to describe if they're Canadian. But saying, look at all of the other issues that people are facing, specifically
Sure, but
in
that's such a
Indigenous
that's a
communities.
bullshit example
I
because
mean-
you know what? Some people, it's all relative to the person's experience. Some people legitimately like that's an important issue to them.
Yeah, and if you're Aboriginal, don't belittle people who are looking for change,
Yeah,
positive change.
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Really,
You're the
I
last people to be
understand.
picking your
Yeah,
spots,
like
man.
I understand that you probably think that missing, women is probably should be higher on the agenda, but that doesn't mean you should
disregard things
Yeah.
that you think are less important because to someone
To
else,
some people, it's important that
Just-
you make history better now, like
Yeah.
that you fix
Yeah.
things, and if it's fixed incrementally, the long run, a number of incremental changes can be significant
exactly.
change. So
I
yeah,
agree. Very
don't,
well.
Don't
very
be a
well
douchebag.
said. Very well said. No, but the conservative response, like all the fucking MPs on Twitter, were like, like, oh, like why are we talking about this? That's always the answer. Is that's how they maintain the status quo. Is they associate like caring with being nerdy, which is kind of like an alpha male. Cool like alpha male way of doing it, right? But it is a really good way of maintaining the status quo.
Yeah, if you
because
care,
anytime
you're
someone
nerdy.
questions it, you're like, oh, fucking nerds, like,
How could you care about somebody's name?
yeah, oh my god, give it a break, calm down, people.
Don't you know that gas prices are $1.30?
That's all they have to say, and it works. And the thing is, you'll get 24 responses of people being like,
I know.
so
yeah.
true, so
so
true.
true. Why don't we care more?
Yeah.
about-
Oh my god, these natives have to stop whining. These people have to stop whining.
Yeah, fair. I get that.
Yeah, and that's what drives. That's like how fucking lazy politicians. That's how lazy political discourse is in
It can be, yeah.
21st centuries. Is that's
Yeah.
all it needs
You
to be
nerd.
said.
You
That's
care
all it
about-
needs. Yeah, that's all it needs to be. But it works. It works extremely well.
Yeah, no, I know.
Like caring is considered, is considered a bad thing. We're at 40 minutes already.
We're at 40 minutes. My song's only like 3 minutes, so we
Yeah.
should talk for a bit more, man.
Yeah.
You want to hit up some? You want to hit up some funny shit? You want to talk about something funny?
Yeah, but I don't know, man. I feel like I've been jaded with the world lately. I haven't really like done anything funny.
I know, man. Well, you got to change that. You got to go do some VR.
I would do VR if I don't know, man. They're expensive as fuck.
Well, yeah, you can't do it every time, but it's like golf. If you really like golf, you make time to.
Fair enough. Yeah.
You make time to do it, right?
Yeah.
Looking at you,
That's right.
Ricardo's here. We didn't let him back on the podcast this
Yeah,
episode.
he fucked up the first time, so we're not letting
Because
him
he
back
dropped
on.
the ball in episode 2, Sasquatch Centennial.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I was thinking more about that point. Can I bring it back to episode 2?
Yeah.
It was the experience that Ricardo was describing in being profiled. It's not fair for you to look a certain way for then to have someone profile you. I think that's really the difficult part. I think there are polite ways to ask somebody about their background, their history, their ethnicity. There are also impolite ways. For instance, hey, can I see your status card? Because you look Aboriginal. Because that's one of those times where you're probably thinking, first of all, I'm not Aboriginal.
So are you Chinese or Japanese?
Yeah,
As
exactly.
they say.
That's kind
King of the
of.
hill.
Are you Chinese or Japanese?
Are you Chinese or are you Japanese?
Yeah.
I'm from Laos. Population 4 million, landlocked country. Yo, that's the funniest goddamn show. I think our generation kind of missed it. Like we were too young for it.
Yeah, we were too young. I didn't
But-
like it as a kid, but then as I started
when you
to
watch
get...
it now, it's fucking just the best.
Welcome.
Yeah, that's my purse. I saw you can buy a flag. Okay, so like the "Don't Tread on Me" flag, like the American Revolution. Their flag was like the snake, and it's in the
Okay,
inside
yeah.
of the snake. It said "Don't tread on me," and that was like
Right,
the rallying cry.
that's
I guess.
right.
So you can buy a flag that is a snake with Bobby Hill's face on it, and it says "That's my purse. I don't know you," and the snake. Oh, it's the best
good,
fucking
that's
show,
good,
man.
that's
It's the best. It really is.
Oh, yeah.
I like American Dad.
Yeah, American Dad was a really good like surreal.
I think Roger is the
Satire.
best cartoon character ever.
Yeah, we've discussed this before.
Wait,
He's-
on the potty?
no, just in real life. IRL, we've discussed this. One.
Is that what that stands for?
You know what that stands for?
IRL? No, I was just like, who are these
Oh,
people who come
IRL
up with these
means
acronyms?
in real life. Yeah.
Oh man, there were so many that I just take stabs at until I hear somebody describe it and be
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh,
Yeah,
it doesn't
yeah,
mean
yeah.
due to caca pee.
It does not. No.
I was just taking a stab. So IRL, you want to talk? You want to talk about some real shit?
Some IRL shit.
Yo, real shit. Jason's in the house.
What do you think of? What do you think of the floods? The floods.
What do you
in
think of the
Houston?
floods in Houston? Sir, yeah, floods are bad. But yeah, you want to talk about the floods? So somebody was telling me like how they
Why
don't
don't-
have insurance.
Why don't they just swim?
Why don't they just swim?
That's what I always say when I see that shit. I'm like, just swim
Oh
to
man,
safety.
Jason, you want to
Right?
answer that? Why don't they just? Jason doesn't want to answer that. So Mike G asks a question.
Yeah.
Why don't you just swim? Now I think what happens is there's water everywhere.
Swim through it
To where?
to safety. to
Do you
safety.
guys see the pictures of the sharks in the water, though?
That was Photoshop. Fake news.
Fake news.
Next question.
I think there are alligators.
Fake news.
Alligator.
I think there are alligators.
Fuck alligators. I'll knock them out.
I feel like there was a reptile.
You just punch him in the nose. Everyone
No, there
knows
was
that.
a reptile enclosure, and like for zoo purposes,
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
it flooded so much that all the reptiles escaped.
That's fucking
And,
sick. You fuck 'em up, man.
So no, but let's talk about like what's happening to these people's homes is that they didn't have coverage and like insurance that covered this type of act. So they've lost their homes, and I have no idea what's going to happen for these people.
Yeah, I don't really understand how any of that shit works either.
But they didn't do zoning very well, and they built a lot of these places in like areas that were, if there was any water, there's no drainage, and you're completely fucked.
Water came 1,000-year flooding, or like a 100 to 1,000-year flooding event. So like this is like considered abnormal.
Oh, so this is abnormal. So this really shouldn't have happened.
Well, I don't know, man.
When they build stuff like this, there's tolerances because like they know like years and years and years of historical data about like weather patterns, and then they can say like, okay, if something this big happens, this is described as probably only ever happening however many years.
Okay.
If it's under X number of years, then they're
All right.
okay with the acceptability, like they accept the fact that if this happens, they're screwed, but we don't need to compensate because it's so unlikely to happen.
It's usually 100 years is the gap.
100 years.
Well, I've built cities in SimCity, and I know that all you have to do is build a water treatment plant. And if you connect all the houses to the water treatment plant, it'll prevent any natural disasters from ruining the houses.
I find it so interesting that even as kids, like nobody told me that I had to like The Sims, and I loved The Sims. I loved that.
The Sims is so fucking fun, man.
I don't know, man.
The first thing you
calling
always
over
do
the
is
pizza
download
boy
the
and-
nudie fucking mod so you can see their dicks and stuff.
Yeah, through the showers.
Through the shower instead of the blur.
Yeah, you got rid of the blur. That was the original hack. That was the original hack.
Yeah, it was
as a
so
kid.
fucking easy to do too. But like, I thought
You just
it was,
wait till they get
I
in the
thought it was
shower, and then you take the shower away, and then you're just left with their
Yeah,
silhouette.
and then they would just die there. Like you could take away their access to leave the shower, so they would just fucking sit there and die.
I loved calling over the pizza guy and then surrounding him in a pool, and then
And then fucking death would come and they do rock paper scissors for his
that's
life.
right,
Oh, great
that's
game.
right, that's
Great
right.
fucking-
Oh no, we made the baby cry.
She's
Yeah, there's a baby. man.
goddamn baby on
This
the
is called
podcast.
indoctrination. Hey, for all the folks, this is indoctrination
This
of
is
the
indoctrination.
youth. All right, this
you
is
will
corruption.
play The Sims.
Yeah, you will.
You will
play the Sims.
play Rocket League with me when you're of age. We will
You're
have
gonna
fun.
play Rocket League. You're so good at Rocket League,
I know.
man.
I'm so fucking. I want to just play Rocket League right now.
Dude, just play some.
If
RL.
we had a Twitch stream,
Oh my
we
god,
could do that.
I just don't want to think that I'd have to be playing video games while doing this. I think hard on this podcast.
Yeah, but Rocket League is very like laid back.
For
know?
you, dude, I play goalie and I shit
you try-
myself.
yeah, fair enough. Maybe we can start off with a more low key game.
No, that's not how you play. You're just gonna hate yourself for doing that.
Play like a card game, yeah. So like Hearthstone is a big
Dude,
one.
I love Hearthstone.
I don't know how to play. It's fuck that, man. Did you see the video of the Mario Maker guy?
I don't know what that is.
Oh, Mario Maker's great.
Super expert levels and
Oh god. Oh, God.
Mario Maker,
That's
dude.
So Mario Maker is a game that came out a couple years ago, and people can create their own Mario levels. But the only way, and like you can post them to other people online to try. But the only way you can post online is if you successfully complete it first. So some dudes will create like insanely difficult levels,
they beat them.
and they'll like the one guy.
I've seen people playing
The
these
one
weird
guy
Mario
passed
levels.
it.
Now I know.
Like he's like he started crying after it was done. He was like it's like 400. He was like it's like 480 hours of this. Like it's done. I'm so happy. Yeah, like it's great for like autistic people love that shit. Like speed running. Yeah.
The level beat, you don't touch the ground ever.
Yeah, and it's just like you watch this guy just fucking throwing shells,
Oh
jumping
my
off,
God,
him,
man.
spinning. Yeah, it's dude.
There's only one way being in the level.
Yeah, and it literally gets to the point of like making sure you like get the pixels and shit. The cells right.
I beat like Ocarina of Time in like 20 minutes.
I've seen now that I think about it, I've seen people playing Mario and winning crazy levels.
A wall hack to get you to like the boss, and then game over.
Okay, this is going off the rails.
All right,
This is getting off the rails.
hey, let me bring it back. Let me wrap.
We'll stop it. We'll stop it, and then we'll get your wrap set up, and then we'll conclude with that.
No, then people aren't going to think it's one clean run. People are going to think that.
Yeah, but we have to get everything set up, and you have to open your
I
laptop.
can open my laptop right now.
No, whatever.
All right, well, I fucked up the first time.
That rosary thing.
All right.
Is this verse 2?
Yeah, well, this is attempt 2 because I messed up the first time.
Thanks, Carter.
Every day I'm extracted for excess action. They tracking my waking feelings, a smile. Panopticon can see you. I'm semi-conscious at best. Cause while I'm chained to my desk, I'm seeking freedom in death. My life's a boring sequel. I try to find some kind of hero I can emulate. Cause this is dire straits. I want my MTV. But every time that I relax, my productivity will lapse. And then they tell me that I'm stealing from the company. Bougie wanna be the boogeyman. The state will lend a hand. Lock us up for pennies, but on payroll there's a blatant scam. Repercussions, there was nothing. Millions that they were stuffing. Pockets deep, hypocrisy. Hip-hop unlocked the secrecy. Cause the markets be what a shark can see. At a Walmart scrambling for groceries. And an eagle's nest spraying DDT. At a pipeline dancing to a Hopi beat. Hopefully you got a rosary. That 10 beats later will set you free. But the day will come when the people in the slums gonna look to a brand new deity. Converted mystics. These venomous words make misfits. These elegant girls in the trenches. We'll see who the last Ubermensch is. Got neighbors peeking over fences. Got saviors looking for redemption. Got profiled for my dope style. Got a few more things I gotta mention. Like labor relation tension. Stagnating wages, no pension. Workplace, yeah, no friendship. No trust, no love, no brethren. Tell me now before I break the code. Left leader, but he barely spoke. Labor Day, find him on a float. Got Fox singing out baritone. This state is partial. I'm not the first one to raise all hell. Cause the fact of the matter is back at the rally, there's people who can't afford to live well. So raise your placards, cause corporates got it all backwards. We're the hands that give and the lives that live, and equality's all that we're after. There's no more master, so you can just forget it. Making a dime while robbing me blind, it's time you shared my vision. That crony capitalism stays cloaked as hope for the children. Stay woke for the cash cow hoax, cause you're never gonna know your noble mission. They wanna see me crawling up the mausoleum walls. They never knew that I had necromancers as pen pals. They question rightly if they ask about my mental health. Save it for the bell, let's talk day when I get spray an 8K across them warehouse shelves. I wanna thank you for these sacrifices at Haymarket. For all the picket lines and joining cold November marches. Don't listen to them if they tell you can't change the markets. Just spit it back and ask them if they know who Karl Marx is. I'm getting loose and candid. Provocateurs get planted. Them tactics underhanded. But that's just how we're branded. The media will paint us as hooligans just aimless. They'll wanna see our faces. They'll try to place in handcuffs. So raise your voices loudly from every cruiser backseat. There is a brighter future. We're gonna live as family. Do the deed so we can set the goal. Make it up but we're not alone. Don't need money cause I'm banking hope. Screaming out through the megaphone. This state is partial. I'm not the first one to raise all hell. Cause the fact of the matter is back at the rally there's people who can't afford to live well. So raise your placards, cause corporates got it all backwards. We're the hands that give and the lives that live, and equality's all that we're after. There's no more master, so you can just forget it. Making a dime while robbing me blind, it's time you shared my vision. That crony capitalism stays cloaked as hope for the children. Stay woke for the cash cow hoax, cause you're never gonna know that noble mission. That's it, man. Man, I only did one stutter step in the middle, but alright.
I think you should be happy you fucking blew it the first time because your delivery was way better the second time.
Yeah, I was starting out really rough the first time. So.
What was that song about, man? You want to like give us a few notes about that?
Here, I'll talk about that song.
I want to kind of hear what that song, because it is kind of Labor Day themed, no?
Yeah, it's got some Labor Day shit.
Talking to the
okay, well, actually, I'll take my
take your microphone back.
I'll take my mic back.
Yeah,
okay.
what's like the sort of the labor theme behind that?
All right, well, the song is called Time Theft, and it started out as a concept. My buddy was asking me if I could spit something for his radio show. I'd done a couple raps in Fredericton, New Brunswick, and he asked me, he's like, man, it's like I'm kind of hoping I can get the broadcast back going. Can you write something that's a little labor themed? You know, we got the festivities coming up. So I said, well, like, what are the problems right now? And he was talking firstly how employers, when you're working for an employer and they fuck with your wages, whether they don't pay you for weeks or months, like the property you earn in paid wages from the time you put into your employment, that's your property, that's your money. But what happens is there's disparity in how the police and the state treat unpaid wages. So for instance, if you take $100 from a till, yes, you've stolen from your employer. But you get completely fucked by the system. But an employer who mishandles money or is criminal in how they handle your wages, what's the consequence to them?
Right.
It's a slap on the wrist. I mean, you can sue them civilly, but what happens criminally? Rarely does anything happen criminally to employers who are deliberately mishandling funds. So that was the impetus for that. Now I called it time theft because part of my problem here, the panopticon, if you're being watched constantly by your employer, it's beyond micromanagement. It's saying that when you're clocked into the employment, you need to be committed 9 to 5. That is the expectation. But the problem there, and that doesn't really, from an employer perspective, that sounds fair. You show up for work, but it bleeds out. It bleeds over. And now you're on the hook to your employer beyond the day's end. You know, at Haymarket, when they fought for the 8-hour workday, the real problem here is I feel like we're losing that. We're losing that perspective. So that's it, man. Who's pissing in the backyard right now?
Yeah, we got a pisser on Mike.
So yes, so that's but that really is like so I'm gonna send him that as a single file and he can do what he wants with it. But yeah, man, like he's gonna share it, I guess.
Yeah, but it's actually Timber Republic podcast property.
That's right.
So-
That's right, baby. You got to copyright that right now.
Yeah, I don't know how to copyright stuff, but
I know. I can.
I think if you just yell it out loud,
yeah.
then it's
I declare bankruptcy. Well, I declared it. All right.
all right. Well, that was fun.
Yeah.
All right.
Bye bye. Happy Labor Day.